What does it feel like to be old and alone in London? The elderly population is rising, and research shows the number of older people feeling lonely is too. What can be learnt from being social and socially isolated in old age? Ray Kelly is 65. He never married and lives alone here in South London.
I came back from South Africa, 86. See, I used to do a lot years ago for the people here in the street. I used to decorate and everything for them. No charge. If they didn't have enough money, I went out and bought the paper. Just me. That's Dave that died. His wife died first. And that was me. Keep fit fanatic. Now if I swallowed a Malteser, you think I was pregnant.
Ray struggles to walk but likes to get out when he can. He offers to show us around the neighbourhood.
Where is it?
It's a short walk from his house to the bookies, where he likes to place bets on the horses.
I just wonder if he's in the same form as he was early on in the season.
How are you, Mary?
I'm fine, Ray. How are you?
The next stop is the pub. He drinks alone, alongside other men who do the same. He soon gets tired and has to head back. Ray's got emphysema and's had 2 strokes already this year. Most days he can't even leave the house.
4 walls, 2 windows, the bathroom and my bed. All my friends are dead, haven't they? Really, real friends have passed away. The rest are acquaintances. The real friends are all gone now.
Ray's isn't an isolated example. New research says half of older people consider the television their main form of company, and there are calls to treat loneliness as a public health issue.
The sort of triggers that can lead to loneliness tend to come together and pile up as we get older. So when we look at what are the common triggers for loneliness, things like bereavement, disability, retirement, anything that's going to fundamentally change your ability to engage with your social networks. About 10% of the population over 65 say they feel lonely all or most of the time. I mean, a shocking number. Around 30% say they feel lonely sometimes. And I think this is an issue that we need to tackle, because if we don't do anything about it, these people are going to get ill. They're more likely to experience longer periods of ill health and more likely to enter full-time social care up to 2 years earlier than those who don't report as lonely.
Not everyone's convinced. One of the country's leading experts of gerontology, Professor Christina Victor, is sceptical about direct links between old age and loneliness.
It's an enduring stereotype we have that old people are lonely, which if you look at the prevalence, they're not. The level of loneliness is about 10%. It hasn't changed for 60 years. And if you really want to know what the key research question is, I think it's why is it that most people are not lonely? What is it that protects people against loneliness? We've looked at people who are widowed. You can follow people up over time, and widowhood is a major risk factor for loneliness, which is not surprising. But if you look at people and you follow them over time, if you take people who are not lonely and are married, then become widowed, and then see what happens to them, 40% of them do become lonely. But 60% don't. So what is it about those people who don't become lonely, and what can we learn from them?
Aubrey Nelson is 92. He also lives alone.
When Myrtle died, it's just 4 years and a few weeks. She died in March the 9th, 2010, just four years ago. My son, unfortunately, became ill and was ill for 2 years, Paul was. When he passed away, Rachel, She died 7 months after, from a broken heart, not from the illness that she had. So that was it, but we were married 64 years. That's a lifetime itself, isn't it? Dora, my daughter-in-law, she gave me a bit of a lecture here and said about, you're going to sit about here. It's, you know the old one about laugh and the world laughs with you, weep and you weep alone? So true. What do I do with my time? I don't know, maybe I'm overdoing it a bit. I'm sort of pushing my luck, but I have a very full week. I sometimes wish there were another 2 days in the week. Monday I go to the University of the Third Age. That's 75 plus. The average age there is about 80. Wonderful, and I go Monday morning, a European history lecture. When people ask me, you know, they go on about age, I don't think, I gave up counting 20 years ago, so I don't think that. They say, how are you, I say, look, I stand up and walk, I'm very, very happy. And what more can I want or expect out of life? See how these young people cling to me, what can I say? Life's been very, very kind to me, with all the setbacks and the heartbreaks, but this is life in general. If it was good all the way, we wouldn't appreciate it. It's only when you have the setbacks and then the good things happen, you really think, well, it's been worthwhile. Who knows?
Aubrey is nearly 30 years older than Ray. We don't know if it's Ray's deteriorating health that's making him lonely or Aubrey's active lifestyle that's keeping him well. But further research into what helps older people that against all odds do not get lonely might hold clues on how to stop London's ageing population getting lonelier as it gets larger.